my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today it's all about the panda and bamboo. You'll be using a plastic panda paw to strip bamboo bark off the center of the bamboo stems while trying to have the most bamboo bark chunks with leaves on them for big points in the end. But you'll need to be careful for the panda cub on top of the bamboo shoot, because if you knock it off to the table, you'll be ineligible for the big leaf bonus. Bamboo Bash is for 2 to 8 players, plays in 15 minutes for ages 7 and up, and published by Imperial Publishing. It's on Kickstarter right now, so I'm going to show you how the game works, and I'll see you on the other side. This is a Kickstarter preview, so all the components you see here are not final. You're going to want to check the Kickstarter link in the description of this video to see all the final components. Bamboo Bash is a family dexterity game for 2 to 8 players, ages 7 and up, and takes 15 minutes to play. Now here you see a very tall bamboo shoot, and this is made up of different bark pieces that you're going to be using this plastic panda paw to hit this to try to get some of these off. You'll also see a panda cub on top. You'll also notice some of the pieces are blank, but some of them have leaves on them. This is important because at the end of the game, you're going to get points if you have the most pieces with leaves on them, but only if you're not the player to knock the panda off by accident. When it's your turn, you're going to take the panda paw and you are going to hit this. At first you get 1 hit, and you can hit it with any part of this. You can hit it with the tip of the paw, the side of the paw. You can hit it with the handle itself. It doesn't matter as long as you hit it once. So for example, let's say maybe I hit it like this. Okay, I was being a little careful there because the whole thing is going to move. Now, if nothing fell off of the chute there, I get another chance. So let me hit again, maybe a little lightly. Okay, and maybe I want to hit one more. Okay, so I hit it 3 times. You have up to 3 hits in order to try to get something off. I was being very careful there on purpose. And then it would be the next player's turn. So the next player takes the paw, and they see that this piece is hanging over the edge, and so they're going to try to keep going on what I started. So maybe they take the paw, and maybe they don't use the hand. Maybe they just use the handle like this, and they go, okay, they're getting close. Remember, you have up to 3 hits to get something off, but you can only hit it with the paw, any part of this piece here. You cannot hit it with anything else. You can't touch it with your hands. Oop, there's 2, and this one's almost dislodged. 3, you see that fell off. Now when any piece or multiple pieces fall off, you collect those and place them in front of you, and your turn is over. And it doesn't matter whether it's your first hit or not. As soon as you get anything off the chute, your turn is completed, but you do get to keep the bark pieces that come off. So sometimes you'll just get 1 hit and you'll get a bunch of these, or maybe 1 or more. And other times you'll be taking multiple hits because you haven't gotten anything off the chute. Now you'll notice again, some of these have leaves, and by the way, the final components of this, these will be a little bit different colored green. They'll be a little darker so you can tell them a little better. And you want to try to get these because remember, at the end of the game, you'll get some bonus points if you have the most of those, assuming you don't knock the panda off. We'll go over that a bit later. Now, going up here is a little risky because you might knock that panda off, but this piece here is hanging over a little bit. Let's see if we can try to dislodge that piece that has the leaf. Yes, ooh, I got it with 1 hit, and I didn't hit anything else off. That was a perfect hit, and I even did it lefty, and I'm right-handed. So this is great. I got the piece I really wanted, the one with the leaf, and you keep all the pieces throughout the entire game that you've been able to hit off in front of you. So even though this is a light dexterity game, there still is some strategy. You know, do you want to go for some of these other ones up here that have the leaf that's sort of hanging off? But that's kind of risky because you might knock off that panda. Maybe you want to hit the ones down here that, you know, are a little bit more stable right now, but they're a little bit harder to get out right away because they haven't shifted at all. So do you want to possibly get these out, pushing it a little harder than normal to try to get those out and not set up another player? Or do you want to try to go for more of the sure thing, but the possibility risking knocking that panda off? So there is some strategy as to what you're doing. Let's try to go for some of the bottom pieces here. Ooh, there was 1. Ooh, I got a leaf off with just 2 taps. So again, as soon as anything comes off, you'll stop. It'll be the next player's turn. Let's get a little dangerous here. This one's hitting right off the edge. It's not a leaf, but I think I could get it with just a tiny tap. Whoa, look at that. Multiples fell off. Now this is great because I got to keep multiple pieces. I'd put them with all the rest that I've got in this game, and one of them was the leaf piece. And as you can see with a closer look, this is really close to falling off. So I've made it really dangerous for the other players as well at the same time. That was a great gamble that paid off. All right, let's try to hit this a little bit more on this side. 1, Ooh, I did get a piece. But I've also made it easy for the next player to get some on the backside of this piece, but it is also hanging off, and it could cause the whole thing to come crashing down. Ooh, that was good. I was being a little careful there. So let's keep going. All right. Ooh, 2 of them. Ooh, got that leaf piece off the front. Oh! Now that was catastrophic because it would have ended the game, because as soon as there's not at least 2 of these centers on top of this, or if there's no bark pieces left to hit out, the game would end and you tally it up. But anytime you end up knocking off any of these center base stem pieces, you collect them, and this is bad because each of these are -6 points at the end, and I demolished that entire chute, so it's going to be bad news for me. At the end, each player is going to count up the pieces of bark they have. They get a point for each of those. Then, if you were not the player to knock the panda cub off, you count how many leaf pieces you have. Whoever has the most of those will get a 4-point bonus. And if it's tied with other players that did not also knock the panda off, they all get 4 points for having tied for the most pieces of the leaf barks. And again, if you had knocked off any of the center stems there, you would get -6 for any of those, so you really want to be careful not doing that. And whoever has the most points at the end is the winner, and if it's a tie, the tied player who was later in turn order from those tied players is the one that would win. There's also a beginner variant where you play without the cub, and this is playing with beginners or children. You play without the cub, and you don't do any bonuses for having the most leaves at the end. And also, players can continue striking the bamboo shoot with the panda paw until at least one thing falls off. Otherwise, you play as normal. So let's have some fun and show you a montage of some other turns. Ooh. In this case, it would have ended again because there are 2 or less center pieces left. Now let's say it looked like this after that big topple. You'd keep going to be the next player's turn because there's more than 2 center discs left and there's still some bark left. But the player that knocked that over, because they knocked over the panda cub, would not be eligible for the bonus for those leaf pieces of bark. Ooh, that would have been bad. Again, whenever you knock one of these off, you get it and it's worth -6 points. And at this point, the game would end again because there's 2 or less of the center discs left. That's pretty much how you play Bamboo Bash. Let's end it with another fun, slow motion instant replay. Well, there you have Bamboo Bash, and as I showed in the overview, it's an approachable game for kids and the whole family where you'll be using your dexterity with the paw along with some strategy as to where to hit. Now, if you'd like to see the final art and components and all the different pledge levels available, you can click the link below me in the description of this video, and that will take you directly to the Kickstarter project page, and I'm sure that Imperial Publishing would love your support.